welcome back. It's been a while, and as you can see, I'm surrounded by my most favorite plant, the Philodendron gloriosum. As you all know, there are different variations and forms of the Philodendron gloriosum, and today I'm actually going to be going through some of them for you. Now, this is with my very limited research. I'm the type of person that sees something and I want it because it's shiny or it's velvety or pillowy. So bear in mind that I am not an expert, but this is a hobby of mine and I just wanted to share this little information with you guys. Okay, so this here is my Philodendron gloriosum dark form. Now, I've had her for over a year. Hopefully I can do this without totally dropping it. Let's see. Hi, welcome back. So this here is my Philodendron gloriosum dark form. Now, I've had this for about a year and we've been through some things. The first year that I got her, I've actually had to cut her down quite a few times because she was growing super fast. And now I have, I think, four leaves. Bam. Bam. And bam. Alright, so Philodendron gloriosum dark form. How do you know it's a dark form? It's darker. It's pretty obvious, but if you never had one before, you're going to be like, well, this is a regular green form to me. True. Let me grab a regular form. This is a regular form. Maybe you can see it better here. This is a regular form. Dark form, regular form. Now you're probably wondering, well, why are these two different colors? That's because this is a newer leaf. Well, actually, let's look at it like this. This is the newest leaf that has finally emerged and unfurled, and this one is the older leaf. So the dark form is going to look like this. It's more of like an evergreen color, and this one is still hardening, I guess, because it's still like this light green, kind of like the regular form. But the regular form is going to stay this color. You can see the shades are very different, even compared to this. You can see that it's starting to get darker already. The other thing is also I may have put it too close to the light, so it may have faded a little bit because, you know, I was neglecting it and things happen. So this is the gloriosum dark form, new leaf, and that's the reason why the colors are a little bit different. Now, let me position this. Okay, so that was my big mama plant, and I wanted to get her out of the way so I can put her down. And she's so pretty. She's very velvety and suede looking. I don't know if you can be two things at the same time, but this plant definitely does it for me. So how can you tell the difference between a green form or a regular form? Is just by looking at the color. So like I said, this is a fairly bad example because it's a new leaf. It hasn't finished unfurling, but here's one. It's the older leaf. You can see the difference here. Veining is very similar. Mind you, this is a more juvenile plant. So I'll compare it to this one here. So this is the propagated plant from the mama plant, and you can see how dark and green this is. Like, it's like an evergreen compared to this one. Oops. So they're both kind of juvenile plants, but you can see the difference between the shades of green that they have. So in any case, you're just looking at the shades. That's all it is. This particular cutting came out really weird. It gave me a Siamese leaf. It's like pleated over. I don't know what's going on with it. It's unique, and I was honestly gonna sell it, but it's so different. I'm kind of curious to see if the new leaf is gonna look like this too. So I guess I'll just name it the deformed form. Oh, care tip for gloriosums and how to propagate. I just want to make note that gloriosums are crawlers, so the rhizomes actually sit across and they grow horizontally, not vertically. It's probably why like I keep running out of space and why I had to keep cutting my plant so many times, because it was just fast growing in my opinion, and I just don't have enough counter space. But I don't bury the rhizome, I just let it sit on top and it grows across. And how do you cut it? It's really easy. You kind of want to, oops, sorry about that. And how you cut it is, it's very easy. You kind of want to look to see where the node is, and then you cut after it. Or what I've been doing is I don't cut the like the top cutting where the growth point is. I actually cut from the back. So do I have an example? No, I do not. I do not have an example for you, but maybe I can show you on this. So the growth point is up here. Now this is going to grow forward, so this will need to be repotted. And then if I were to feel around here, there's an active node back here. So I would actually cut here. But because it's still a juvenile plant, there will be no cutting. At least not until it produces maybe 4 more leaves and it has crawled enough for me to say, okay, I can cut. Kind of like this one. So this was a chunk from the mama plant, and it started to shoot off from one of the nodes. I should probably water this, but in any case, the node was over here, which was an activated node, and then it shot off. And now I have this little cutie pie. Care tips: water it when it's dry, give it bright and direct light. I find that wherever your light is shining on the plant, the leaves are going to grow towards it. And I've actually trained my big mama plant to kind of like grow facing the light, which is why all the leaves are facing one way. Otherwise they're just going to be like pointing in every which direction, much like kind of like this one actually. You see how it's like one's growing this way and the other one's growing that way, and the growth point is shooting straight up? Like, that's just, I don't like that. I like all my leaves facing one way, so when I walk into my place and, you know, all the foliage is facing one direction, it's really pretty. But I'm gonna have to do something about this and train it. I think this was an import, and it's just recently started to produce leaves for me, so I'm not gonna mess around with it too much until it gets more mature. Okay, so I talked about dark form versus regular form, or green form. Now we're going to talk about the regular form versus the round form. So what's the difference? It's the shape of the leaves. So a good example is this one. It's kind of deformed, but you get the point. It's heart shaped and the bottom is very narrow and it comes down. Even like the little Siamese leaf, it's coming down. Versus a round form, it's going to look round when you're looking at it dead on or as a flat lay. So here's an example. Actually, just take a moment and just stare at that for a second. Look at the veining on this. And like I said, don't put it so close to the light because you're going to end up with a faded, sad leaf. Anyways, what I've noticed is the round form, the tip actually curls inwards. And like I said, when you're looking at it dead on, it's fairly round. Pretty happy with that. And because this is a juvenile plant, I'm not getting like the full effect of it being super round, but hopefully maybe by winter time, maybe it's gonna look bigger and get as big as this. Now there is a dark form, round form, and a regular form, round form. This is my other round form, and you can see it's fairly round, sort of. The leaves, the tips are kind of like pointing inwards, and if I try to straighten it out, it's fairly round. I wish I had known what this looked like, but it was an import, so it kind of got damaged. And this is the newest leaf here, but it's still unfurling, so I don't know if it's gonna flip inwards so that I can show you, but yeah, this is the difference between regular and dark form, round form. Let's recap. We've talked about dark form, regular form, which is green form, and now round forms. So I'm about to say something that's going to make me sound like I'm debunking myself, but that's, you just hear me out. So this was my first round form purchase, and obviously it was because of this leaf right here, and it was like, holy crap, it's super round, super cute. But after getting that import and looking at the leaves, I'm starting to think that this might not be a round form, but actually a white veins. Yes, there's a white veins gloriosum. And as you can see, the veining on this is way more prominent than this. Super more and way more prominent than this regular form here. So starting to think that this is actually a white veins, and I'm okay with that. It's actually one of my wish list plants that I've been wanting as well, that and the zebra form. And I feel like the zebra form is also the white veins, but I could be wrong. Someone can drop a comment down below and let me know and correct me, but yeah, pretty sure this is a white veins because it's like identical. I'll post pictures once this starts to harden and when I get a new leaf on this, but positive this is a white veins or zebra form, and this is actually like the true round form, just because of the way like the I don't even know what you would call this, just because of the way the leaves are. So I'm excited to see when this one unfurls completely and hardens off, and I think the next leaf it'll be a lot bigger and I'll really be able to see. But you can even tell on this very messed up leaf, like it was fairly round when it was not in my care and was still in Ecuador. All right, so what's left is the petioles. There is a O-shaped petiole versus a D-shaped petiole. Do a cross section. If you were to do a cross section of your petiole and it looks like the letter O, congratulations, you have an O-shaped petiole. And vice versa, if you were to do a cross section and it looks like the letter D. Now, in my opinion, and I'm not an expert, but I feel like the shape of the petiole was just some nitpicky person who was like, oh, look at this, it looks like the letter D. Let's call this the D-shaped petiole. And I'm only mocking this because this particular plant came off of this big mama plant. Now the petiole on this is round, like I'm touching it, it's a circle. But this plant, I don't even know if you can see it. Maybe. But on this side, it's straight, and on this side, it's actually round. So do I have a D-shaped petiole? According to my explanation, yeah, I do. But I think it's a little bit silly. I truly think it was just somebody that was like, oh wow, this is different. But it honestly doesn't change the shape of your leaves at all. I actually think the reason why my petiole looks kind of weird is because it's growing curvy and it was like bending towards the light in a really weird way. So I don't think it's like a crazy phenomenon or anything like that, but those are the different distinctions of a gloriosum. So, oh, lastly, I don't have this one. I think it's like the unicorn plant where you can have a variegated gloriosum. I don't have one, but I do remember one of my leaves on this plant had like a variegation, and I was like, holy crap. But it was just a sport variegation, nothing too crazy. But otherwise, that was my collection. I hope that was helpful, and if you like videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!